Okay, so there we are live, Rohit. Okay. So, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Chit Chat with Shweta. Today we have with us Rohit Jain. He's an advocate in MP. He has also written a book called Cybercrime and Laws, and his book has been highly acclaimed and been appreciated because being so young he has written about a topic which is extremely necessary for our awareness. He's a cyber law expert, and his list of accomplishments is huge, from winning awards to being praised by the chief justice to contributing in various journals and magazines. So without wasting any more time, let me get in conversation with Advocate Rohit Jain. Welcome, Rohit.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Right. Rohit,
It's my
so
pleasure to come on with you.
thank you for being here. Uh, Rohit, now that, especially because of this lockdown also, we have been consuming internet and social media all the more than ever. So, what is the basic sense of using social media we should have, so that we do not fall into any trap or our details do not get misused? As a layman, what are the things we should keep in mind?
So we all are in a lockdown period, or during this pandemic period, we all are using internet so much, or rather than increased using of internet are increased rather than normal using on other things. But we are not all are aware about the things behind the internet, the things behind the cyber crimes, internet crimes. So we are all, or we the people who are become as we can say a victim of that and other things. A lots of cybercrime are also increases in this lockdown period. Even a fake websites and approx more than 20,000 fake websites with the name of Corona and COVID is also registered for we can say that to defame peoples, to take get money of peoples and all these things, and to do crimes. There all many crimes are increased due to this in this period, and all for the corporators, for the IT users, or for all the employees, all the people are using for work from home, and they are using with they are doing work from the internet, from the devices, from their laptops and their communication devices. But there are lots of things like that. There is a phishing one crime is called as a phishing crime. In this crime, the criminals are sending you an email that when you see the email or someone is seeing the email, he thinks that the mail is to be sent by his office colleague, or his something from his boss, or is something from an employee of office.
Basically,
But
someone knows.
yes, but they don't see the whole email, but they see the simple name behind the name, and it's very easy to make a fake email and put any other's name. And then when they enter in the when this enter in that email or click on that email, there is a something another things like a fake email, a fake link, or a fake saying about the transfer of money and other all that things. So these types of things are increasing day by day. Or even sometimes we see the lots of cases in which the company someone is sending mail or sending data of an important crucial data of a company. So we all there is a competition in a market also. So people are doing all these things also for their competition, to reach in a competition or to win or to get ahead from all these things. So the people are all using, or we all are in the we all are in our houses, and we are using social media also. So the lots of people, I think many of people are using very easy password for their Facebook, for their Instagram, like their mobile numbers are password, like their birth dates are password, a girlfriend boyfriend name even are a password. So it is very easy for not for a hacker. For a normal human being, it is very easy to try to get into their Facebook accounts by using this type of silly passwords. So the people are with this things. Most of people are using mobile number as a password on a Facebook and other many social media accounts. So people are getting into it and logged with the mobile number, and they are logged in particular email ID, and then sending a message to his family relatives, to his friends on a Facebook, like for demanding amount, or saying that I am in trouble and I am in a particular things, and I want a financial help. So this type of things are increasing, and people are without confirming sending money, or by through Paytms and through online platforms like Paytms, PhonePe, and other Google Pay. These are the things are also increasing, and the things like bank, or we can say that there are lots of things regarding the government is announced for lots of things, like they are announcing for particular wearing mask and particular wearing using sanitizers. So people are also using this type of things for a fraud, like sending you a fake image of a fake particular business operator. We are doing this type of business and selling a lot of.
I have a question here. You
Yes,
told that
yes.
a lot of people are using very easy passwords, which are very easy to guess, right? I am one of them. Okay, my password is not very complicated or something like that. But does having a strong password
Yes.
ensures the safety?
Not only things.
You have been muted. Okay, please unmute. Yes.
There is something sound behind me. Wait a minute.
Yes, sure.
Not purely said this using a strong password is also a safeguard for us. There is lots of social media accounts or social media platform like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They have an option of a two-factor authentication in a privacy setting. If you go on a setting option, then in a privacy option, you have an option of a two-factor authentication, in which if you on your two-factor authentication on your social media accounts, so there's one, you have to enter a pin in this particular accounts, or you have to enter a proper connecting like that. You have to enter with a password, you have to enter with a pin. Then if someone is logging your ID in another device, so a text message via Facebook or via other social media accounts is sending to your official number, and there is a pin, and if you enter a pin in particular device, then only your ID will open. So these are the things. These are some security measures which everyone wants to have to know, that for their safety, or using a strong password is very necessary, is that only because if you are using an easy password like mobile number and like birth date, so anyone can get into a log in your account. So it's not a thing that if someone is with a criminal minded or with a wrong intention is want to do or defame you, or and defame anyone, they want to defame anyone, he can log in a particular Facebook account and then something malicious post or doing something illegal things with your Facebook accounts or with your social media account. So ultimately we are got in a trouble. So if we want a safeguard, if we want to prevent all these things, so we have to use a strong password. We have to use a two-factor authentication in our social media accounts.
But when we are on social media nowadays, very often we keep giving our information, as in our name, our email ID, for various purposes. You know, something pops up and we fill in the form and we give out our information. So is there a chance that our information can be misused when we are providing it to various companies, or are we somewhere safeguarded? Is there any law? How is it?
Yes, like that, we all are know that our government of India are banning more than 59 applications like TikTok, like UC browser and all the things. Regarding that, according to government, this application are taking our information of a users and selling to a particular another third party. And there is lots of issues like that. Various applications are doing that particular activity. Like if you are want to, like the thing is that if you are using a particular camera editing, a photo editing app. If you want to install a photo editing app or a video editor, and when you are entering in this application, he wants your contact. So if it is a photo editing app, why the particular application wants your contact? Like all the time we can see that application wants your contact, access to your contact, access to your GPS location. Lots of things are there. So we have to make sense. We have to make sure that particular application is only for using or editing our photos or editing our videos. So why particular application wants our contact list or access our contact list or access our Gmail or access our particular GPS location and all that. So these are the thing have to a particular user have to be aware about that. Like while using lots of times we have pop-ups on various things, and like filling in a Google Forms, lots of time filing in a Google Forms, we have to be a particular things, be aware about that, or we have to first can see the particular website, it's a genuine website or a particular fake website, or there is a silly mistakes in a if someone is sending you a fake website link, or you are again entering in that link.
Very important question here. You talked about fake website. So
Yes.
as a layman, how do I recognize whether it is a fake website or a genuine website? Because it's a very big concern.
Yes. When you are entering in a particular website and you see the link, like you see the link in particular things, so there is a particular mark of a green in particular on your desktop. You can see on a screen if a website is a genuine, there is a green mark, or it is a website that start with HTTPS. The S sign is for a secure. And if the particular website doesn't using HTTPS protocol, or there is a red mark, so you have to see that or if there is you can see if there is a change in particular website, like we are opening Facebook in our devices. So on a login page, if someone is sending you a link to log in your Facebook page, so you can see the particular difference. By seeing on that, you can see the difference, or you have to aware about the particular HTTPS protocol on that particular thing. So if you see the S for a secure, then you can enter into in a website. Or the first thing is that while using a banking activity, while using you have to want to pay a particular amount to someone, you want to receive a particular amount from someone, then you have not even using a link for that. Always using a particular banking application or a banking official website by entering on a particular on a Google form, on a Google page, not even on by linking that someone is sending you a link, then you can enter, and then you have uploaded your confidential data like your debit card number, your expiry date, your CVV number, or anything else, like the things which is required for any online transaction. So you have to be aware that by going through a link, no chance to, there is lots of chance of hacking, or there are lots of chance of phishing attack. So you have to use a particular website, official website.
So same for the emails also, which you mentioned.
So you will be secure on this particular law. Yes, I can. Yes.
I was saying that same for the emails also, which you talked about. Like
Yeah.
you say that we receive emails, knowing, thinking that it is from someone known, but it can be a fake thing. So
Yes,
how
yes.
do we differentiate whether it's from someone who has genuine person has sent us, or they have just created a fake ID?
Like when you click in on an email, or when you click on a sender's mail ID, you can see the whole email ID. On a whole email ID, you can see particular things is something changed, like if your boss, if your company name is alliance, and there is alliance254@gmail.com, and the email ID of your company is alliance@gmail.com. Like I'm using an email like rohitjain@gmail.com, and someone is sending you a mail, and if when you see the particular mail, there is a rohitjain123@gmail.com. So these are some things. Or when you see also you can see the particular history of an email. If someone is doing conversation with you, if I am doing a conversation with you, and I am sending an email, so you can see the last email sending by you or sending by me are present there. But if a new email, there is a no any particular history, or an email, there is also option of a two-factor authentication in a setting option of a Gmail also. So you can go there or secure your accounts by doing two-factor authentication. Or there is option of a forwarder and filter in a Gmail option. So you have to aware about that. Your things is someone is you have to check your email basically, and then you check there is a no setting in a filter and a forwarder, so your email is to be saved. Or lots of time we can see that when you enter in an email, I think right hand side on the last right hand side, there is a particular thing that last seen of your email. Like you are using your email before a 6 hour, so he shows that the particular thing shows that you have last seen is for a time of a last 6 hour before a 6 hour and that. So you have see their particular things. So you can see that your email is secure or not secure.
You said that various applications which we use, they ask to access our contact details or various other details. I have seen that most of the applications asks for it.
Yes.
So is it that we should deny that, or we should not use that application altogether because they are selling our information to someone else?
Yes, like when we are getting in a trouble or seeing that particular data is transferred, our data is hacked or particular things. So application defends himself like you are giving a permission for that. So the thing is that if you have to want to a particular application for a particular purpose, for a particular time, so you have to enter that application for a particular time only. Lots of people are think that they are install application for a thing, and when the thing is completed, they are not uninstall that particular application.
Right.
They are still the application in the own storage or taking the data and all this thing. Or if you are seeing that a particular application is if you think that the particular application is not useful for your particular uses or other things, so you have to uninstall that particular application. Or while using an application, you have to remember that the particular application wants your data, or you are particular the mobile data is confidential. Like lots of people are using that, they can click a picture of an Aadhaar card, they can click a picture of his PAN card or her debit cards and use and store in a gallery, and giving an access of a particular gallery to lots of applications, and then get into a trouble for a financial loss for other things and all that. So you have to be prepared about that. The application needs a particular access. You have to need a particular, lots of applications are there. Lots of Indian applications are there. So the things are for that. So you can use this application rather than using a particular application who gets access of your particular confidential information.
If we talk about Indian scenario,
Yes.
how strong are our laws when it comes to cyber law? Supposing today, if I get into a trouble, my account is hacked or someone misuses my information or pictures. So how strongly does the law protect us, or how effective it is?
For an internet crime or for a cyber crime, we have a law of information technology Act 2000. This is a law for a cyber crime in India. So the act was come in a year 2000, and then in 2008 the act was amended, and from 2008 the act is going on, and all the things are coming in the IT Act. So yes, it's a strong act, but we have to be a more strong act or a more strong law, because the using of a particular internet things are increasing after the year 2013 or 14. After the period of a 2013 or 14, we can see that the using of internet, we can say that the importance of internet in our life is increased. So we have to, for a secure of a citizen, for security of citizen, for security of a nation, we have to be a particular more strong act or a more strong laws for that. Like in IT Act, there is a law for that. If someone is like your name is Shweta Sureka, and someone is making a fake profile with your name, Shweta Sureka, and taking your picture from your WhatsApp WhatsApp DP, from your Instagram account, from your visibility, which is very easy to get, and making your fake ID. And the people are presuming that this is a Shweta's account, and they adding like as a friend on a Facebook or on other social media accounts. So this it is also a crime in India to make a fake ID, and it is a crime in under section 66C of IT Act, and there is a law for, and there is a punishment of a 3 year and fine up to 1 lakh rupees also. So yes, we have a laws for everything, but according to the uses, according to the particular importance of a thing, we have to be we have to amendments, and there is a new law for data protection is also coming and was passed in our which is in a process for to coming as an act or as a law in India. If a particular law is come or in existence, then all the social media's platform have to make a particular data centers in India. Like that, America have a data center in America. So we are using a Facebook or or other thing. We are using a Facebook. Then our data is going to for a storage in America's data center. And after a data protection law these laws, the Facebook have to make a particular data centers in India, and then the data is in the Indian territory. So there's a lot less chances of a misuse and all that thing. So yes, government is doing for that, and for the things is like that. Before the particular time period, like before the 4 and 5 years, or in between 4 and 5 years, these things are increasing very rapidly, and lots of time that our police agency is doing well, but all the in all the state, in all there is a different law, there is a different policing policy, there is different, all these things are. So there is lots of trouble like that. A person sitting in a Punjab are by hacking a computer which is located in a Mumbai, Maharashtra, and doing an act which affect the person who is sitting in a Kolkata, who is sitting in Indore. So there's a in a cyber field, internet field, there's a no territory behind that. Like even in America, Canada, and hacking a computer of India. So these are the things are there behind that. So we have to we have a strong law to prepare for that, to deal with all these things, and to secure for a security of nation and a security of citizens also.
You work very closely with cyber law, right? Now, cyber crimes are on the rise, and people are getting harassed, and most of the people, they do not come out in the open because there's a fear attached to it, that whether it will be addressed or how it will be dealt with. So what measures, because you are related to a lot of government organizations as well, so to spread that awareness that we have laws in place and you are protected by law, what steps are taken in that action?
Yes, this a thing. Like when something is going wrong, like cyberbullying is lots of time with the cyberbullying. Girls which are bullied by a particular person with the means of a Facebook Messenger and an Instagram chat, and lots of things. But the girls are not coming to are not filing a complaint, are not come with the, or even not talking to that particular thing with a parents or a teacher and other things. There is a lots of things. Or I am going to lots of, I am talking to lots of children in a school awareness session, or by a session by a government organization. I am attending lots of session and talk to children and with all these things. So there is a fear among the people about that, that if I am filing a particular complaint, or I am filing a particular complaint or FIR against a person, so it will go in a media, it will go, and people talks about me, and they are supposed to, they are blaming me, that why are you chatting them, why are you sending message, why are you all these things. There's a lots of things. So there's a this will get motivated with these things. The criminal will get motivated. The criminal will get there's a no application, there is a no particular FIR, so they are increasing their activity. So these are the things behind that. If we are in a trouble, or we are not going to particular agency, we are not going to particular police station for that. So the person who are doing that are free, and they are doing the activity with the others also. So these are the things very important for that, to have to complain, because in in a parade there is a very low. I think all the district is also not have a particular cyber station, because there is no complaint behind that. So yes, we have to particular do awareness for that. We against all this free, all the people out there. I want to say that like something ethics for that, like to use a particular for in a daily life. We have a particular girl is posting a picture on a Facebook, or lots of people are commenting on that, beautiful, a cutie, and all that thing. They say. But in a real life, if a girl says are going there and someone is commenting on that, so there is an issue. So yes, we have to prepare all that thing is that there's a difference between real life and internet life and on a social life. There's a difference between, like, there lots of children are playing games for lots of time. Like they are using mobiles. Like a PUBG game. A PUBG game is there is an age limitation for a PUBG game is a 13-year age, or a 14-year age is given by a particular application also. But we can see that lots of children of a age of 10, 11, 12 are playing PUBG. They are playing a game with lots of nuisance, with lots of war games, like fighting games they are using. So this will directly affect their mentality. It will directly affect their nature. So the children become violent, the children become not talking to their children, or not playing outside, not talking to his parents.
Now that you have mentioned about children, I was coming to that too only. We as adults, whether good or bad, somewhere we know what we are getting into. But internet consumption has increased drastically among adolescents and also children even below the age of 10. So as parents or as adults, because they do not have the sense of what they are doing, whether it's good for them, whether it's bad for them, whether it can land them into trouble, right? So as parents or as adults, what measures we can take when kids have access to internet to ensure that their privacy is not hampered or they do not land themselves in trouble? What are the basic things which we can as adults can, basic measures which we can take?
Like for a children's side or for a kid's side, there's a lots of application where have a children control, and there's a lots of application for a children control for the spy on that particular devices. So we can do that thing for that. Or I'm not saying that to go into a privacy of a children, but if your children are doing that activity, you have to know about that. Like in the era of internet, or in the era of a communication device or a cyber world, the thing is that children are educated, children are giving children are giving information about the things to their parents. Like this is update, this is particular new communication device. So all that things are like while children want to go drive a car or drive a particular two-wheeler. So there's a particular license given by a government for that. So and there is an age limitation of 18. Like when you get the age of 18, when you get the license, then you will drive the particular car or a two-wheeler or that. But on the internet, there is no limitation for that. There is access to everyone. So for that of things, it is very necessary for a parents or for a teacher also. Not only for a parents, it is a responsibility of teacher that the particular guys what the particular children is seeing on internet. And we have if you are thinking for that, you have to install YouTube Kids in your mobile, and then you give it to your children, then he can streaming on particular YouTube Kids, or then there is no any particular harmful content, there is no any particular sexually explicit content on a YouTube Kids. So there is a lots of option for that. So yeah, children, for a parents or for a teacher, you have to be aware about all these things, or doing particular things to your children and seeing that particular things. Like in a period, like we can say that we can't stop children, because even school are also saying that they are using online classes. So we have to give a particular device to our children, and all thing. So these are the, now this has become more serious for all of us, for that, I think, to put eye on a particular children, what is seeing on internet, what is streaming on internet, what the children is doing or things on internet. So we have to be aware of all that.
So we can basically keep in control by installing various apps on the
Yeah,
phone, which the children.
parenting control app. Yeah,
Yes.
there is a parenting control apps, and there is a child locks, and many things are that particular things in a devices or in a particular mobile phones or a laptop. We can't now in this period we can't stop children to use mobile, because if they are doing that activity, so according to atmosphere, according to society, the children are not updated like his friends or that all these things. So these things are, but we have to be control on that. We have to be we like for citizens, there is a, for a normal citizen, uh, there is a particular netizens, the word is for that, like for using of internet, like using of a net, there is a netizens so like when I'm doing, I say that I am in a relationship where that I am. So these are the things are happening to us. So we have to be aware about all these things. Like what our children are doing. Like they are not aware that the particular to hacking a Wi-Fi is a crime. To hacking to make a fake ID. Like lots of girls are making Angel Priya ID with the name of Angel Priya, Cutie Pie. There's a lots of ID made by a girl with the age of 11 or 10, and chatting with a person of an age of 45 with the age of 50. So we have to be aware about all these things, like what our children are doing on internet, what our children are doing on a social media's account. So we have to be eye on that. We have to be secure about that, all this.
We are often scared about hacking. Since you
Yeah.
mentioned about hacking, that my account might get hacked, or my information might get hacked. Is the threat really real? Is it very easy to hack, or it is something which needs a lot of technology and application to hack someone account?
Yes, with this period, there's a lots of videos on the YouTube also to how to hack particular account, to how to hack. So for a person who are using internet, a person who are doing activity in a coding, some have a basic knowledge about hacking, can do a particular things, but he can't aware that there is a law for that. There is a lots of police activity. There is a lots of laws and a particular act for that. So a person get into a trouble. There is a lots of law, like according to section 43 and 66 of IT Act, hacking is a crime. So if someone is doing a particular things of hacking, there is lots of imprisonment, there is lots of punishment, lots of fine on the particular person if someone is doing an act of a hacking. Without, there is a difference between a hacking and an ethical hacking. People are not aware about that. The hacking is another thing and ethical hacking is another thing. To become an ethical hacker, there is it is a professional course, it is a professional work, and it is a professional obligation also among a person or among an organization to do ethical hacking or work for ethical hacking. Like for a
On a
particular,
lighter note, you have very basic information about me, but you have immense knowledge about, cyber and everything. So would you be able to hack my account? Can you hack my account? Even with the
yes,
basic information which you have about.
yes, by sending a simple link. When I am sending a simple link, that a thing is that so, like sending with the timeline is that Sureka, your videos is gone on top. Sureka, your video is streaming very well, and when you are get very excited to open it, and then just when you just link or click on that particular link, you will be hacked.
So all
So,
my information, so basically all my accounts will get
yes, yes,
hacked.
yes. By installing an application like Anydex, Quick Support, and like a TeamViewer, these are the application. If you are installing that application in your mobile phone, and there is a code of a 6-digit or a 9-digit number, and you give it to me, then I have an eye on your smartphone. What are you doing? What you are, and even I am access your camera. I am access your contact detail. I am access your gallery. All that things I will get access of your all that things. So these are the
But
basic.
why would anyone give this 6-digit code to anyone else? Why
Like
would
that.
they willingly give it?
Yes, yes. Like is that in a lot of cases, like if you there is a deduction in your account of amount of a 5,000, then you see that there is a deduction and I am not doing that transaction. And you just call to a customer care of a Paytm, like you see that particular transaction is of Paytm, or you just call a particular customer care Paytm number, and you can do a Google or for that, and you take a 10-digit number. But for a proper way for is that you have to go a particular application, and there is a customer care option for application. Then you have to click on that. You have to send a query. Then you get answer. A 10 days number, or by calling on a 10 days number, a person on a call saying to you that you have to, yes, I see your problem. There is a mistake in a transaction or there, and we will return your money. But you have to, you have to install application. Can you install application? Then you install Anydex application, and then get a code to them. So there is a lots of things when when a person are not we can say that thinking, but they are coming in a trap for that. And there is a lots of things, not for a Paytm transaction. There is a lots of, you can see a lots of fake customer care number on a Google also. They are doing, the hackers, the criminals are doing that activity to get your money, to get your data. There's a thing behind that.
Rohit, I think you have enlightened us, you have given us very, very good insights as a layman, which we should keep in mind, of which we should be aware in order to protect ourselves from any mishaps or our information getting misused. Any last quick tip you have for us, which, because we consume internet so much, we consume social media so much. So any last quick tip you have for us?
Just for all the internet user, or for all the users of Chit Chat with Shweta, I want to say that particular things are, the internet is for our advantage. It is for our advantage. So use it with an advantage. Don't to take like to defame someone, to troll someone, to get doing illegal things are bad for all the things. It will make our cyber world a bad thing. So please aware about using on that, or while using a particular social media accounts, always keep in mind that don't add strangers in your accounts, or don't click on an unauthorized link, or don't even send giving your OTP, giving your PIN to someone. So these are the basic things which everyone citizens, every users of internet have to know that. Or if anyone, I'm not saying that or for a positive way, that if someone is getting a trouble, you can contact to me, or you can contact to Surika Shweta ma'am. Then we definitely doing something for you, or we are doing help for you. So thank you so much, and it's my pleasure to come on your show, Chit Chat with Surika and Shweta. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Rohit. And yes, so now we all know, anytime we land up in trouble related to internet or cyber, who is the person we should be contacting. Thank you, Rohit, for this. And I must say that you have given us some amazing tips and insights to secure ourselves from internet bully or our information getting misused. So thank you, Rohit. Thank you for coming on the show. It was completely my pleasure to have you. Thank
Thank you
you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you.